Are you ready yet? He knocked on the door, and he had been doing this for an hour, and now slowly yet surely losing his patience. Okay, I'm done. You came out of the washroom in a long black gown. You had been super excited to wear it ever since you had bought that. Hobi stayed on his path, turning away and walking out of the bedroom. You rolled your eyes. Of course, he wouldn't compliment you. What were you expecting? It had merely been 2 months since the two of you married, yet you always waited for that flicker in his eyes or any indication that he cared about you. You knew this wasn't a love marriage, but you guys were childhood friends. Your marriage is mostly like a secret one. Only few of your friends knew about your marriage. When your mom told you he had picked you himself, you expected the feelings to be there too, but you guess they were non-existent. He always called towards you. You were going to your high school reunion party, and this would be very well be the highlight of your week. You were allowed to bring your significant other or plus one, so you brought Hobi, and surprisingly he agreed for that. Dressed in a fine way, he waited in the car as you entered, and without a word or even a glance at you, the both of you drove off. Arriving at party, it was set in a hotel hall and the decorations were stunning. A lot of people instantly recognized you. You weren't popular, but you were always nice to everyone, and that was a great legacy to leave behind. You got separated from Hobi super quickly as your friends dragged you away as he stood where he was not knowing what to do. With his hands in his pocket, he went to grab a drink. Meeting all your friends was an amazing break from your adulthood life. A lot of changes had come about, the most prominent being your marriage, but it was great to feel like you were in high school life again. It especially felt like that when your high school crush walked up to you, Jimin. He was the sweetest, most popular guy in your school, but you weren't the only one with a crush on him. Everyone had one, so it was shocking to see that he was still single. Ryan, it's been so long. He chuckled, giving you a tight hug, which Hobi noticed from afar. He kept an eye on you, not because he was worried, he just couldn't take his eyes off you. He never could, you were that pretty, and even in a room full of girls in dresses and makeup, you always shined and brightest. He just didn't want to push his luck telling you all this so quickly. He wanted you to be so comfortable around him. You and Jimin talked for what felt like hours, and turns out the two of you weren't that different. In fact, if you guys had talked in high school, maybe sparks would have been there. Hobi discreetly kept getting close to you, seeing how you had ditched your friends for the guy, and you were laughing so much with him. He had to know what was going on. A group of people started circling you, and Jimin has something was about to happen. They all smiled at you and gave you thumbs up as Jimin started to speak. Ryan, I have liked you ever since I was in high school, and I was stupid for not confessing then. But I will now. You have grown into an absolutely beautiful woman, and I hope you would want to go out with me sometime. You could see how genuine and nervous he was from how long he really took to say the words, as he had been preparing for a while. Everyone around you started clapping, and you were put on the spot. I mean, when you were a high school girl, you would have been all over this confession, but things were different now. You were married, and the truth be told, you had feelings for Hobi, even though he may never know it. Jimin, You took a deep breath, not wanting to crush his pure soul, but you had to. Obi had front of you all of this, but he didn't want to jump in, since he still had no idea what was going on. I'm really impressed, but there is someone else I have feelings for now, so I'm so sorry. You sighed as you saw the clear despair in his eyes. It's okay, Owen. Thanks, anyways. He smiled as the crowd slowly disappeared as you guys parted ways. So that's what it was. Jimin had asked you out. Hobi was glad you rejected him, but he heard you say the part where you had feelings for someone else. Who was that someone else? The night was so soon about to come to an end as everyone was slow dancing with their loved ones. You knew you hurt Jimin really bad as you went to maybe have one dance with him, but someone had stopped you. Wanna dance? He came out of nowhere, not even waiting for your answer as he took you away himself. You had totally forgotten about Hobi in the midst of everything. Hobi, you scared me. You sighed in relief as he took you in his arms, and it wasn't awkwardly, it felt like he would done this before many times when he hadn't. He kept a sore face even worse than how he used it to be. Is everything alright? You asked him as he only closed down on your hand which was in his hand. You weren't wearing your wedding ring? He sighed. Oh, I didn't want it to get lost. You replied not knowing why it would randomly concern him. No wonder he asked you out. You heard all that? You didn't even know what Hobi was doing this whole time, but he knew everything despite it. Yeah, there was a sort of sadness in his tone. Well, for your information, I said no. You replied even though it probably didn't matter to him because he probably didn't care about you. Or did he? He also said there was someone else. He mumbled, but you kind of heard it, so just to make sure, you asked again. What was that? Nothing. He sighed. Why do you care? He really wanted to know why it bothered him. I mean, I'm your husband. Shouldn't it bother me? You didn't even tell anyone you were married. And why? I really want this relationship work because I like you a lot. But I know you don't feel the same way and you cut him off abruptly, being truly stunned to hear all that from him. He was jealous. Who says I don't feel the same way? You couldn't help but let his smile play on your face. Do you? You couldn't help but leave a quick peck to his pouty lips that you had never seen so up close as he gasped in shock, making you chuckle. That someone else is you, my sunshine. It's me? His eyes widened. Yes. Well, would you like to go out on a date with me then? Yes, I would love to. You were so engrossed and in love with the moment you didn't see Jimin staring at the two of you. I still feel bad about Jimin though. You said, enough talking about him, talk about me. He whining like a child with a pout, making you chuckle.